You ever look at the world, see it just falling apart, and wonder where the person who could fix it all is? Well, today, we're diving into the ancient book of Habakkuk. It's an incredible story about a prophet who does something really bold. He basically puts God on trial. And that brings us to the big question, really the explosive question at the heart of this entire book. We're about to meet a man who had the guts to look at all the chaos in his world, look up to heaven, and actually demand an answer from God. So, our story kicks off with the prophet Habakkuk, and this is a man who is just heartbroken. He's looking out at his own nation, the kingdom of Judah, and all he sees is a society completely coming unglued. He gets this really fascinating nickname, the Job among the prophets. But here's the twist. Unlike Job, Habakkuk isn't crying out because of some personal tragedy. No, his pain is for his entire country. He's wrestling with God, not over his own life, but over the absolute mess of injustice and corruption he sees everywhere he looks. And to really get why he's so desperate, you've got to understand the world he was living in. He's standing right on a historical knife's edge. He's prophesying just before the Babylonians, this massive, scary empire, are about to sweep in and just decimate Jerusalem. His society is being ripped apart by violence and greed, and from where he's standing, it looks like God is just silent. So what does he do? He cries out. And let me tell you, this is not some polite, quiet prayer. This is a raw, unfiltered complaint. He's straight up accusing God of ignoring evil, of being inactive. He's basically shouting, "How long do I have to scream for help before you do something?" And then God answers. But the answer he gives is absolutely shocking. I mean, it is the very last thing Habakkuk, or frankly anyone, would have ever expected. God's response is just staggering. He says, "Oh, don't worry, I am doing something. I'm raising up the Babylonians, this terrifying, ruthless nation that's even more wicked than you guys, and I'm going to use them as my instrument of judgment." For Habakkuk, this is a nightmare. The so-called solution is 1,000,000 times worse than the original problem. And this pushes Habakkuk to his second, even deeper complaint. See, now it's not just about injustice in his own country. It's about the very character of God himself. How can a God who is supposed to be perfectly good, perfectly holy, use a violent pagan empire to do his dirty work? It just makes no sense at all. So God is faced with this profound crisis of faith. And how does he respond? Well, he doesn't lay out a 10-point strategic plan. Instead, he offers a simple principle for living that would literally change the course of history. Right here, this is the pivot point for the entire book. God's ultimate answer isn't about explaining the messy details of geopolitics. Instead, he calls Habakkuk to a totally different way of seeing the world, a different way of living. And he does it with this one single phrase, a phrase so powerful it would echo for thousands of years. So what does it actually mean to live by faith, especially in this situation? Well, it's not just a fuzzy feeling or a vague belief. It's a deep-seated trust. It's an active confidence in God's goodness and his promises, even when his actions make zero sense and the world looks like it's ending. This is the key to getting through the storm that's about to hit. And this one idea, this one answer, it completely reframes everything for Habakkuk. It's a journey that takes him from a place of angry protest and confusion to a place of just profound worship and trust. Think about it. He starts the book literally demanding that God explain the chaos. He ends the book having found his stability not in understanding the chaos, but in trusting the God who is in complete control of it. It's this incredible journey from wrestling with God to resting in God. And that final chapter, it's just this beautiful, powerful song. Habakkuk basically says, look, even if the fig trees have no fruit and the fields produce no food, even if all the sheep and cattle are gone, even if my entire world literally collapses, I will still rejoice in the Lord. His happiness is no longer tied to his circumstances. It's found in God alone. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Habakkuk's story is just a masterclass in what real faith looks like. He stared total devastation in the face and said, "Nevertheless, I will rejoice." And it really pushes us to ask ourselves, in our own world of uncertainty, when things feel confusing and out of control, where do we find our nevertheless?